least I thought so. My name is Mark Johnson, a 34-year-old salesman. Last month, I got divorced after 2 years of marriage. My ex-wife Jennifer and I met at a mixer. She looked younger than her age and sparkled, and listened to my stories with a wonderful smile. I couldn't forget her, and after the party, we exchanged contacts and started dating from our first date the following week. Our wedding was a lavish affair, just as Jennifer wished. Everyone blessed us, showering us with envious comments like, "I'm jealous, what a beautiful couple, you've got a great wife," and, "Make her happy." We were indeed an enviable couple. Our newlywed life was smooth. Jennifer prepared a traditional American breakfast by the time I woke up, always looking impeccably dressed. Her packed lunches were famously perfect at my office. Moreover, dinner always catered to my tastes with a well-balanced nutrition. We didn't always go out on weekends, but we spent them dining out or shopping. I was very happy. I thought so. But those happy days vanished with Jennifer's words. That day was no different for me. When I came home from work as usual, Jennifer was sitting down, unusually not wearing her apron but dressed up a bit.
"Jenny, were you going out today?"
She then said,
"I want a divorce."
placing the already filled-out divorce papers on the table. I was so shocked that I couldn't say anything and just stood there for a while.
"Sign it now. I'll submit it tomorrow."
Her usual smile was gone, replaced with a calm expression I had never seen before. It felt cold. That was the atmosphere.
"Please tell me why."
My voice was surprisingly small and shaky.
"Your job keeps you busy, and I've been lonely. I can't take it anymore. We've been married for 2 years without children. I quit my job, so I have no one to talk to. I can't stand it anymore."
She said, crying. What is she talking about?
"I only work late once a week, right? We didn't have kids because you said you wanted to enjoy our life together. And it was your decision to quit your job."
I replied. She glared at me with tearful eyes and said,
"That's cruel. You're blaming me."
She stood up and threatened.
"Please sign it. I can't stay with someone who only blames me. If you won't sign, I'll take it to your office tomorrow."
I was so confused. I signed the divorce papers. She took them and left the house. What's happening? What does this mean? Why was I being blamed? Maybe I was at fault. Perhaps I shouldn't have worked late at all. I should have expressed a desire for children more. I should have encouraged her to keep her job. I should have listened more. Suggesting hobbies could have helped her make friends. Initially, I was confused about why this happened, but gradually, I started to think maybe it was my fault. Before I knew it, I fell asleep and woke up past my work start time the next day. My phone was flooded with calls from the office, and I hurriedly called back. After hearing my voice, my boss must have sensed something was off and allowed me to do paperwork from home as remote work. But I couldn't muster any motivation and just spaced out, drinking only water. I managed to get a little bit of work done that day, but since I had only drunk water, my mind wasn't working well. When I called my boss to explain the situation, he told me
"Not to overdo it,"
and decided to take some days off. I felt relieved, but at the same time, I worried about whether I could return to work.
"Maybe it's okay if I don't. I don't have anyone to support anymore."
I felt lifeless. I looked down from the balcony of my condo.
"Jumping off from here would end it all in one go."
Then, my phone rang. It's from Jennifer. When I answered, it was my sister.
What's going on? I'm scared."
I had answered the phone too quickly and shouted Jennifer's name, which took my sister aback.
"Oh, it's you, Margaret."
I felt drained and just collapsed. When I woke up, Margaret was at my place.
"Hey Mark, what happened? Where's Jennifer?"
I told her everything that had happened 2 days earlier.
What? You didn't do anything wrong. Is she joking?
She was really angry. Oh, right. I remembered Margaret and Jennifer didn't get along.
There must be something behind this. I'll look into it for you.
From that day on, Margaret, who originally lived at our parents' home, explained the situation to them and started taking care of all the household chores at my place. I was terrible at housework, so it was a huge help, and the first meal in 2 days was a tomato soup Mom used to make, which made me nostalgic and cry. A few days later, Margaret's investigation revealed that Jennifer had been having an affair. The other man was a model of the same age as Jennifer, apparently often working on one-off jobs. But the day before she handed me the divorce papers, it was discovered that he had been chosen as the exclusive model for a men's magazine. There were 3 more shocking revelations. First, Jennifer and the man had been dating for 5 years. They had broken up 3 years ago when she met me, but they got back together and rekindled their relationship shortly after we got married. Second, Jennifer couldn't do any household chores. She used a daily maid service, which was partly paid for out of my salary, but she was afraid of getting caught and paid for it out of her own salary because it was every day. That's why I never saw her cooking. I wondered what we did on weekends when we didn't eat out, and then I remembered I always went to the gym. That was the time. But what is her own salary? Yes. The third revelation was that she had been working. She usually met with her affair partner during the day, but on days when he had photo shoots, she worked. Her job wasn't as a receptionist, which she had done before we got married. She was a cam girl, talking to men over chat.
Seriously.
I was frustrated by my own obliviousness and held my head in my hands.
She always seemed kind of calculating.
Margaret said as she walked to the kitchen. Looking at the evidence photos and documents, I thought there was nothing I could do now that we were divorced. Yet, Margaret had a different idea.
Mark, let's get a lawyer and claim compensation.
She has always been more put together than me.
No. I don't want to deal with it anymore, it's okay.
When I said that, she sighed deeply and said,
You're really too nice. Call me if you change your mind.
I was left alone again. If I decide to claim compensation, I might have to meet Jennifer in some form or another. The thought of her showing up with her affair partner scared me. I still loved her. Time passed, and it had been about 3 months since the divorce. I was still in a state of listlessness but had managed to start going to the office again and somehow get my work done. In my company, it didn't matter where I did my work after making sales visits.
Maybe I'll go to the coffee shop for the first time in a while.
I used to frequent my favorite coffee shop to check documents for the next day or reply to emails. As I opened the door and entered the shop.
Hi. Oh, it's been a while, hasn't it?
A female employee greeted me. When I looked puzzled, she said in a hurried, quiet voice.
You used to come here often, but I hadn't seen you recently, so I just had to say hello.
She then guided me to a seat.
Oh, thanks, you remembered me.
I replied with a weak smile and took my seat. I only ordered a cup of coffee, but for some reason, a carrot cake was included.
I only ordered coffee.
It's from the master. Just coffee might upset your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
I had lost a lot of weight over these 3 months. I was eating, but compared to the nutritionally balanced meals from the maid service, the cereal and pizza were lacking.
Thank you.
This carrot cake is homemade by my wife.
The master said with a kind smile as he approached me. Tears came to my eyes with the first bite of the carrot cake. That day, I left the coffee shop after enjoying the cake and coffee without doing any work. From the next day on, I started going to the coffee shop as often as before. The change from before was that I learned the name of the employee who had greeted me and started having a bit of conversation with her. Lisa, that was the name of the female employee. The time I spent in the coffee shop was a slow, peaceful time I had forgotten about since getting married. The time spent with Jennifer was comfortable in its own way, being captivated by her sparkling presence, but it was different from the calming atmosphere of the coffee shop. It was half a year after the divorce. I managed to get back to my weekend gym routine, but on the way back, I ran into the last person I wanted to see.
Jenny.
Oh no.
Jennifer was walking arm in arm with her affair partner. He smirked at me, but I didn't say anything on the spot and went straight to my parents' house, asking Margaret to help me with the compensation claim. Later, Jennifer called me angrily after realizing I knew about the affair and that I was claiming compensation, but I ignored it. I forwarded all the messages left on my answering machine directly to my lawyer. The affair of the model was exposed when my lawyer sent a certified letter to his agency, and the exclusive model deal he had just secured was cancelled. Furthermore, he was fired due to the tarnished image. Jennifer also sent me a lot of calls and messages about that. Thanks to the lawyer, I was able to settle with Jennifer and her affair partner without meeting them and received more than the usual amount in compensation. According to the lawyer, I was a good catch in appearance and substance, working for a fairly well-known company, which is why Jennifer thought I was the perfect marriage partner. Whereas, the model man, though not earning much, continued their relationship because she liked him as a man. Then she decided to marry him once he secured the exclusive deal. But now, realizing what she lost, she seems to be seeking reconciliation. What is she thinking? I couldn't help but laugh at the thought. I was foolish not to see through her true colors. The day after everything was settled, I went to the coffee shop and was greeted with,
"Hi, oh, you look refreshed today."
I had become good at talking with Lisa. She had known me for about 4 years. Seeing me working seriously, sometimes tired, excited when I started dating Jennifer, and tense when we decided to get married, Lisa had seen all these different sides of me. And now, she noticed my relieved expression after everything was settled.
Your expression today is wonderful.
I was surprised by her unexpected compliment. At the same time, I felt a warm sense of relief. On the day of my divorce, I had thought my life was over. But that wasn't the case. I have people who support me. I'm truly glad to be alive.